This is an important module for you because I think oftentimes, well, look, we're afraid of anything new, right? A little bit of fear. And especially the idea of being a travel agent and all the details involved and all the resources. I often say it's not rocket science because I don't want you to feel intimidated. It really isn't rocket science. But there's a lot of detail, and I understand the reaction to, getting all excited about being a travel agent, being in the travel industry, and you see all the pretty pictures, and Andy Harmer charms us with the cruise industry and all that, and then it's like, but now what do I do, right? So I get that. So I specifically designed this little class here to help you with that. We want to take the mystery and the fear out of it, okay? And just make it real practical. Here's what you do, okay?
Yeah.
Good? Okay. First off, you got to make the phone ring, okay? You can't, I don't want you sitting in your flat, right? Sitting, I'm working on it, okay? Sitting in your flat, waiting for the phone to ring, right? I want you to make the phone ring, and it's pretty easy. There's a bunch of things that you can do, and I'm not suggesting that you do all of them. Just a few of them will get your phone to ring. That's the idea. First of all, you want to get your brand out there. Jessica will spend some time with you on you are your own brand. If you ask me today, what are you selling? I could say cruises, holidays, but what you're really selling is you, right? So you got to get your brand together. What do you want customers to think of when they think of you, right? So she's going to take you through an exercise in that. But once you've got your little brand together, now you've got to get it out there. So who are these customers? What do I do? Where do I get customers? Should I buy customers? No. The power of IntelliTravel is we don't want you to go out there and spend money on advertising necessarily or buying leads or anything like that. The power of IntelliTravel, just like in your marketing business, is the networks that you already have in place in your life, right? Your church group, the families your children went to school with, your wedding list, your holiday card list at Christmas time or whatever holidays you celebrate. Any of those things, and all of them, maybe you went to university and you still have contacts there. Those are your lists. And you want to get them together, and practically speaking, you want to get them on a spreadsheet, which don't, spreadsheet. No, don't get it, it's not scary. You just fill in a couple of columns. It's nothing sophisticated. But if you get them onto, for example, an Excel spreadsheet or another standard format, now you can use that list in different programs and tools that we give you. So it's important to get your list together as a first step. Go through all your stuff and make your list. And don't be too judgmental. Well, I haven't talked to that person in 10 years. Doesn't matter. You have a connection. That's what we're looking for. Okay? So get those lists together. Now you need, well, in the US we call this an elevator pitch, but I changed it for here. Because Jessica asked someone where the elevator was and nobody knew what she was talking about. So we've changed this to a lift pitch, but I don't know if it's ever really called that. Now what I want to know is, what is it? What is an elevator or a lift pitch? Who can tell me? Anybody? Hand back there? I couldn't have said it any better. Perfect. You have to tell, it's the time, sorry. A lift pitch is what you say to explain who you are, what you're doing, but you only have the time it would take to ride in an elevator or a lift with somebody. So it's a short, concise, here's what I'm doing, right? So you gotta practice it. a little bit, and you got to be creative about it because you want to hook people with it. So you could say, I'm a travel agent working in this new kind of company where I work from home and I sell flights and cars and right? Or you could say, oh, well, I'm a certified dream maker. Right? That's why we call it that, to help you, to give you something to work with. So that's a great way to hook people in. So you get your pitch together. You should have business cards. Jessica already told you that. We have a relationship with Vistaprint here in the UK, billions of customers worldwide. We don't want you to spend a lot of money. That's why we made that relationship. We're not in the business of printing or selling business cards. It's cheaper than if you went down on the high street and into a print shop, but it is, and they guarantee the quality. You can track your order online, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of reasons to use them, but however you get your business cards, you can make your own, by the way. Design your own and have them printed anywhere. But what do you have to do if you do that? Get them reviewed and approved. That is critical, or you're going to waste money on business cards that we're going to ask you not to use, right? So you got to get them approved. Business cards, it's an old-fashioned idea, maybe it sounds like a little bit, but it's still one of the most effective. And use those business cards. I hate when materials, you print up materials and you put them in the closet and they never come out of the closet, right? That's a waste. You got to use those business cards. When you go to a restaurant, you pay the bill and then you leave a little extra gratuity, leave your business card too, right? That server wants to go on holiday, same as the rest of us. And sometimes when you pay a bill in the mail, put your business card in there, right? Because on the other end, there's a person who's opening that, right? And use those cards, get them out there, they will come back to you. There are listings where you can list yourself as an agent. CLIA just told you about one of them. You join CLIA as a member, you're going to get listed in their database. People go to their site looking for a cruise agent. With our new partner that we're going to be telling you more about, Advantage, they have the same thing. So, and there are more. Social media, certainly, get out there. Do not become a billboard, though. If all you do is post offers all the time, what are people going to do? You're going to defriend you, right? Maybe block you. It's a little extreme, but people are funny about their social media. What I want you to do is have authentic conversations in social media. Post pictures of yourself at an educational event like this. Certainly, if you go on holiday, a trip anywhere, post pictures of that. You will generate real conversations with people, and they will become customers in a more natural way. Every once in a while, you can throw an offer out there too. That's fine. But in between, lots of photos, memes, photos with little headlines, stuff about what you're learning, articles. Just if you link to things, be careful. Don't link to things where people can buy travel from someone else, right? There's an article, interesting article, but maybe it has ads down the side for cruise lines or other travel agencies. So in that case, you want to copy and paste that in. Don't link to somewhere where you might lose the customer. Keep an eye on that. Social media, blogging, maybe you're going to become, you're a good writer, this is something that interests you, start blogging on social media and elsewhere. Local PR, this is a great one. Do you know, how many television stations are there now? Like 2,000? It's crazy, right? Plus online publications, printed publications, local news stations, radio stations. There are thousands of outlets that are starving for content, right? They need more to fill their airtime, to fill their space. So if you could become the sort of go-to travel expert for your local publication or your local, I'm not saying go to the BBC, and I would like to be the travel expert on the BBC. No, I'm saying be more local than that, more targeted than that. And you could become a go-to resource for them. And PR, public relations, is free advertising. Good idea?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. On IntelliTravel's Facebook page, we've done some articles on how to become a travel blogger and how to use local PR like that, so go back and look at those. Email and direct mail marketing, you're going to use the systems we give you. You're going to use your own email marketing, your lists, right? Maybe send out that customizable newsletter Jessica was telling you about, and you pick a frequency. It could be every day, it could be every week, it could be every month, once a quarter, whatever you like. It costs you how much to use that system? Nothing. Okay? So you want to get your name and your offers out that way. You use the hot deals listing on our website, and this will become more and more UK-centric over time. So I want you to be patient with us. Remember, July 1st is a beta. We're starting with some content that's specifically for the UK, but that will grow just like you saw it grow with the society, right? So same idea. Business builders, those are those signs, giveaways. Use them to build your business. Maybe you're going to take a booth at a local fair, and you can give away pens or luggage tags, really inexpensive. All right, good. And we'll have plenty of other business development managers like that too. So we do that sort of stuff. Maybe you're going to make a business partnership. Maybe there's a store in your where you live, or someone else you know who owns a business. Maybe it's a dress shop, and you want to put together a special cruise with a fashion show on board. Maybe it's a wine store or a chocolate shop. You want to get together with people who own businesses and they already have customers. And the two of you can make sort of a co-marketing deal, right? For you to be able to offer travel to their customers. What does the store owner get in return? Well, you might give them a little portion of your commission. Or you might build a cruise group around them, and they get to go on the cruise for free. Now they're spending time with their customers in a different setting. It deepens their relationship with their customers. There's a lot of business value in that for them, plus they get a free cruise, right? So there's a lot of ways you can work on those partnerships, but they can become really smart sources of business for you. And there's even organizations you can join. Back in the States, it's Shriners or any number of service organizations. And I'm sure you have the same thing here. Someone's got to help me out, though. You have
TTI.
TTI, somebody said?
TTA.
Oh, TTA,
Yeah.
someone said? Could be anything. Could be a parent and teachers organization at the school. Any kind of community service group. But here's my one piece of advice on that. Don't join everything, right? Only join one or two where you can truly make a contribution, make a difference. Because if you're insincere about it, people will know. They'll smell that out, right? So you want to make a sincere contribution, and then that also becomes an avenue to meet more people and build your business and get more customers. Okay, so all of these things, you don't have to do them all, but in this group, are there a couple things that you could do to make your phone ring?
Yeah.
Right? Or to make someone reach out to you on Facebook? I bet there are. By the way, guys, on Facebook, we're working this into our training. Social media is still so new that we're coming up with new teaching about it all the time. But one of the things is, be very wary of taking any kind of travel request on social media from someone you don't know, okay? Because the drug dealers and human traffickers and terrorists have figured out that they could reach out to you on social media and say, I want you to book an airline ticket for me. And you have no idea who they are. And if you're irresponsible, you'll do it, and then they get to do whatever bad stuff they're doing. So I highly recommend to you that you only provide travel services for people you know or you can get to know. They know someone, a friend of yours or something. You need to make sure that you're doing business safely with people you can trust also, okay? So anonymous kind of social media requests, not good. So this is what happens. Let me do this again. Your phone rings, Okay, what do you do? Your phone rings, the customer says, we want to go on a holiday, and you freak out. Okay, this is very common, so you don't have to feel bad about it. But I don't want you to have that reaction. We're going to get you to a better reaction. So, we want to go on a holiday. What do you need to do? You need to get out your pad and your pen or your laptop and start with the basics. And that's the who, what, where, when, why, and how. Okay? The who is who's going on the trip, obviously. And a little tip there is get the birth dates rather than the age. Because someone who's 29 today is going to be, sadly, 30 at some point in the next year. And you need to know what their age is at the time of travel. Age can trigger special pricing or other privileges. There might be restrictions. So the best thing to do is get birth dates. Okay? The what is, what are we going to do when we're on the trip? What is it you like to do? And that could be any number of things. The where could be, remember, multiple destinations, not just one. Right? So it could be going to several places. The when, and this is really key, kind of underline this one. The flexibility in dates and times affects what in travel? Pricing, right? So leaving on a Sunday is different than leaving on a Tuesday. Leaving early in the morning is different than leaving in the middle of the day, right? So it can really affect the price. That's why you need to know up front, is this the week that your spouse is available because they took the time off work and it's the only week that they're available? Or could you leave a day earlier, a day later? What kind of flexibility do we have, right? Really important. And by the way, that'll show off that you're more than the average agent when you talk to your customers about this, because most agents don't. Okay? They ask the simple questions, but not the nuance. The why. What's the reason for the trip? That's very important to know. And of course, what the type of travel is that they prefer. And all-inclusive, as Andy mentioned, is getting more and more popular, not just here, but everywhere, particularly in the States, too. Sometimes people ask for that because it's all they know. So keep in mind, and this is a quote, I'm going to have to work this in somewhere, but your job is not to give people what they want. It's to give them what they need. Okay? And oftentimes people have wants, but don't truly understand their own needs. So you've got to do a lot of listening with customers, and we'll talk about that too. But particularly here, people will sort of demand almost an all-inclusive. And that may not be the best and only solution for them. There might be more availability with a different kind of plan. So be open, even though people tell you that. Some important questions here, detail here. I'll go through a few things, but the basic idea is there are lots of things you can ask up front, but if you ask 100 questions, you know, a confused mind doesn't buy, right? So you want to limit the questions you're asking at this stage up front. That's why there's not 100 questions up here. But a good question to ask is, have you been to this place before, done this trip before, and is there anything you want to repeat? Are there any specific things you want to include? I mean, that's stuff we need to get up front. Also, air is really important. Here, it's very popular to book everything with air. In the States, a little bit less so, but it's still an important question because people have miles that they can turn in for free tickets or upgraded tickets, and that they can do directly with the airline. And if they're planning to do that, you need to know up front, because then you're going to look at different kinds of packages and pricing for them. I also like to ask about airports. Now here you have, what, like I guess 3 major airports in London. Yeah, in London, yeah. Oh, and Stansted. Okay, so This is a very good example. It's similar where I am. In New York, there are 3 major airports and 1 or 2 additional airports that aren't so major, but people use them. And so when you want to know, it could also affect pricing. You want to know if your customers are willing to use any of those airports, right? So those are your upfront questions. And now we get to the really critical part. Vicki Freed, who is the Senior Vice President of Royal Caribbean, one of the most powerful people in the travel industry, she said, don't just become an expert in your product, become an expert in your customer, okay? And that is the best advice. You need to get to know your customer. You need to listen a lot, ask some qualifying questions. This is a critical point in the selling process to understand what your customer's needs are. You need to listen. And a common mistake here is I hear agents say, what is your budget? Sort of up front, almost the first question they ask. And I got to tell you, it's a jarring, kind of traumatic question to ask somebody. And the truth is that most people don't know what their budget is, and now you're forcing them to give you a number, and by doing that, what kind of number are they going to give you? A low number, right? And so we hear crazy things. Well, I'd like to go away with the family, all-inclusive, to Jamaica, and I have about 300 pounds. And now we're wasting everybody's time, right? So no one else will tell you this. This is a sort of IntelliTravel exclusive. Don't ask what their budget is, okay? Get to it more indirectly by asking them a qualifying question. And the one that I like to use is, what hotels do you like? When you travel, what hotels do you stay in? Because that tells me a lot, right? If you're staying in Ritz-Carlton's or Four Seasons or Kimpton's, I know you're a luxury traveler, okay? And that starts to lead me towards your budget. If you tell me Marriott and, sort of 3-star, middle-of-the-road, corporate business type hotels, that tells me something. And if you tell me caravan parks, whatever, I don't know what the brand would be here. Back home, it's like, Super 8 motels or something. Then that tells me something too. I also like to ask, tell me about, getting to know each other, tell me about holidays you've taken in the past. What were your favorite ones, and what were your least favorite ones, right? Get them to open, it's called an open question. You can ask closed questions, which get answered with what? Yes or no, right? Now they're useful. But in this stage, about qualifying your customer, ask more open-ended questions. Get them to talk a little bit. And to get someone to talk, you have to not talk. Some people don't get that. But the truth is, great interviewing style, if you see interviewers on TV, when they're trying to elicit an answer, after they ask a question, and then they shut up, right? And sometimes it's an awkward length of time, but that actually causes the person who's getting interviewed to answer. It puts pressure on them to answer. So anyway, take a breather and let your customer talk a bit. Just let them ramble and talk a bit, okay? So you are qualifying your customer here, which is such an important step. And there's another side to this, which is you're going to be learning a lot about product. You're going to be learning about the cruise lines, and you will soon be able to discern the right profile for particular products. So you'll know the hotel brands that are for luxury, middle of the road, economy. You'll know the same about cruises, what we call entry-level cruises, which might be what? What brands? Yeah. And big brands worldwide. Carnival, right? Entry level. Then you have what they call contemporary, and we call mass market, really, which is would be like a Royal Caribbean. Although quite luxurious, but that's the pricing. What would be Royal Caribbean, Norwegian cruise lines, maybe a couple of regional ones here. And then after that, the category in cruising is called premium. And premium might be celebrity, Holland America line, right? And then Princess is another premium cruise line. And just a cut above in the experience and the pricing. And then after that would be upper premium in cruise, and that's Oceania is a very good example. Sort of a luxury product, but a more relaxed atmosphere. Azamara is another one on the small ship side. So that's upper premium. And then the final category is what we call luxury. And that's crystal cruises. Scenic river cruises is in that luxury category, whereas Viking might be upper premium. So scenic's a bit snazzier. That's the other side. It's getting to know the product so that you can match the two. Andy said something that I liked. He said you're going to learn so that you put the right ship, the right cruise, the right itinerary with the right person. I tend to think of cruise as any holiday really, as a suit of clothing, okay? And they come kind of standard size, but now you've got to put it on the person and tailor it, because if you don't, it doesn't fit right? And the same is true, particularly with cruising, this is true. If you put somebody on the wrong ship, where they're 30-something and everyone else is 60-something, right? Then they come back and you know what they say? Cruising stinks, right? Cruising stinks, I hated it, terrible ship. Are they right? Or is what they're really saying is, I wasn't on the right cruise, right? And so that's on us. That's our responsibility. But if you do it right, I'll tell you with cruise, it's something like a 90-something% return rate. I mean, people who cruise and who've been put on the right ship, put on the right cruise line in the right way, they love it. And it's repeat business, and it's a big ticket, big commission for you. It's just win-win, right? Okay, now, before you hang up in this first conversation, there's a couple of things you should say. First is to get the best way to contact them. In today's world, people want to be contacted in different ways. They might want you to email, they might want you to phone call, right? They might want you to WhatsApp or Facebook call. I don't want you to Facebook call. Don't Facebook call. So it's important to contact people the way they want to be contacted. And then this is really critical. You want to give them a confidence-building statement right before you hang up the phone. You want to say to them, well, I really thank you for the opportunity to help you with your travel. I want you to know, I'm an expert, and I have access to the most sophisticated resources in the travel industry. You won't have access to that as a consumer bumping around online, but I do, right? And I can build the best possible holiday for you. If you say something like that just before you hang up the phone, then they're less likely to do what?
Look elsewhere.
Right. Call another agent, go on a website, research online. If you don't say that, and in this phone call, you've given them some ideas and you've talked about some destinations and you got them sort of going, what are they going to do? Yeah, they're going to take your ideas and they'll be all over the place, right? That's what happens today. So you want to give that strong confidence-building statement, and then you want to give them a date and time when you're going to get back to them with a quote. Okay? And this will also help them from straying. The thing about this is use a little technique I call E+ customer service. That's expectations plus, exceeding expectations. If you know you can get back to them on Thursday, tell them Friday. And then when you get back to them on Thursday, you delight them a little bit. Yeah? Yeah, good technique, and again, not something that people talk about a lot. The initial quote, the first thing we want you to do is start with our preferred partners. Now, this will be evolving over time here in the UK. Right now, our preferred partner program is 25 big global brands like Carnival and Royal Caribbean, but we'll have a special version of this evolving over the next couple of months with you. And we'll start to put our UK preferred partners together for you. What I want to say about preferred partners is these are the people going to be supporting your education. They're going to give us the highest commissions. They're going to give us VIP service for you. If you need help, if there's a snag of some kind, we get special access to get the help from them. So we want to support the people who support us, right? Every time you get a travel request, you should start your investigation with preferred partners. Does that mean you can't sell any other brands?
No.
No, absolutely does not mean that. It just means you should start there. If you can't find what you need, or you think there's something better through another partner, then you can go on and do that research. We have our own agent support available for you, of course, 7 days a week. I think Jessica will cover this later, but the hours right now are 11 a.m. to about 11 p.m., so it's a 12-hour day on your time here, 7 days a week. Okay? But partners also have support. They have things like honeymoon departments and destination wedding departments and all kinds of experts. So that kind of support is available to you right now. You can go to their websites, you can go by phone to those partners, but we're going to be going over with you a little later. We don't want you booking directly with partners yet here in the UK. We have to start by going through our technology, but we'll be changing that. Okay, I don't want you to think that's the end game. It's not. We'll be changing it, but those relationships have to be set up still. So we don't want you to wind up booking directly with them and then there's no commission in it for you. So again, you choose in person or by email. And one thing I would say about email is it's a monologue. Email is me throwing something at you or you throwing something at me. It is not a dialogue. So you have to choose how to work with each particular customer based on what you know about them and the sort of rapport that you have, and also based on the importance of the information. I would not do a first price quote really by email. I would talk it through with the customer so that there's feedback. And here's another technique. I like to do 3 price quotes. This is very successful. In your mind, you're thinking, lowest price, lowest price, lowest price. My customers want lowest price. Everybody wants something for nothing. And you know that's what's going on in your mind. Don't lie to me. I know it. But the truth is that's not what's going on in your customer's mind necessarily. In fact, if we were all driven by lowest price, we would all be eating fast food all the time, staying in the caravan park, doing everything the cheapest possible way. And we don't do that, right? So most of us do not do that. And that's because it's not price, it's what? Value. It's what I'm getting for my money. Not how little money, but somebody's got to convince me that I'm getting value for my money. That's the difference. So go back to them with low, middle, high. What that means is middle is exactly what they asked for, or what you guys agreed on. That's the middle. Then you can say to them, I can save you on that by taking this out or making this choice, and here it's 100 pounds less. Okay? But you're giving up something. Or, maybe it's that you're leaving earlier in the morning or leaving on a different day, whatever it is. And then I would give them high. But don't just throw the price at them. Say, I can really change your experience because we can put you in a suite on that cruise. And now you've got a different colored key card. So every staff member on the ship knows you're in a suite. You have a private restaurant that no one else on the ship can eat in, only suite guests. Your seats are held for you at all the shows and entertainment, first couple of rows, center. There's a private sun deck for you and a private bar at the top of the ship that's only for the suite guests. In other words, I'm building the experience, the value, and then say, I can do all that for you, and it's an extra 100 pounds a day, but you know, it's a different experience. And you will be amazed how many times people pick the high. Okay? There are travel agents out there who don't know how to do this, or sometimes a bit lazy, and they keep missing this opportunity to make, not only just make more money for themselves, but to make a better experience for their customers, which means next holiday, those customers come back. Next weekend, they tell people about you as a travel agent, right? So you gotta have a longer term view of your business and understand how much of a difference this makes. Okay. Lots of options. Travel insurance, I'm going to mention in my presentation later this afternoon. There are special licensing and laws around travel insurance here in the UK. So we don't have that in place for you yet, but it's in process. And travel insurance becomes a great, has anyone ever purchased travel insurance in here? Okay. Good, quite a few. So it becomes a great opportunity for you. As an add-on, it's additional commission for you and it's real protection for your customers. But what you want to do is sell insurance from an insurance company. Okay, that's what we recommend. We want you, just like if you're going to buy a car, you go to a car dealership. If you're going to buy food, you go to a restaurant. If you're going to buy insurance, you go to an insurance company. It's the way for you to make money, and it's better quality insurance for your customers. But we're not there yet in the UK. It's going to take us a couple of months to get that in place. So for now, you will be able to sell insurance products that are offered by the trip supplier, so by the cruise line or by the holiday package company, but you don't make money or much money doing that. The real way to do it is to add true third-party travel insurance, and we'll be working with you on that. The point about it is you never want to add travel insurance on at the end as like a secondary thought. Because if you've ever gone to one of those electronic stores, what do you have here? It's big TVs and stuff. PC World, okay. So, you know the experience of you saved up, finally getting that big TV, you're going to watch the football and everything. And then, so you pick it out and bring it up to the front, and then they say, would you like the extended warranty insurance thing or whatever? And it's an add-on, and what does everybody say? No, I just went for my lungs on this TV, I don't want to have to pay anything else. But if they had included that insurance in the upfront price of the TV, you would pay it, because it makes sense. Well, the same is true of travel. If it's a £1,000 purchase and you get them to say yes, and you're all the way in, you say, now I want you to have travel insurance, it's going to be another 200 pounds, they're most likely to say no. But if you told them up front it's 1,200 pounds and it includes this travel insurance, you're more likely to make the sale. And there are huge commissions on travel insurance when it's sold that way. But again, you're going to have to wait a little bit before we get to that. For now, you can certainly offer the insurance from the product providers. And you want to double check, make sure, you don't have to worry about it when it's booked through our booking engines, but if for some reason you were getting a quote on the phone from a supplier, you want to make sure your commission is included in there. So you always have to double check every component, because there are ways suppliers make mistakes, they slip in net rates, and all of a sudden you're making a sale and not making money on it. And this is 2017. So that means we are multimedia, guys, not just typing words on a white screen. It means you can share videos, links. That's supposed to say photos. It says photos. Those photos. Okay. I shouldn't have said that. For sure, it's all. But again, remember the linking rule. Don't link to someplace where people can purchase, right? Watch out for that. Okay. Then you're going to come back. Once you get there, okay. You're going to give them all that, and they're going to say, okay, let's do it. You know, where this is sort of right, it's definitely in the ballpark. They give you some affirmation to go forward. Now you can refine the quote on all kinds of other details. Maybe transfers or car rental, meals, entertainment, entertainment tickets, airport meet and greet service, shore excursions, sightseeing tours. We can add all of this stuff. You make a commission on all of this stuff. But this is not the kind of stuff I would ask them in the first call, because now you're asking them to make all these decisions. Deal with the big picture, get it okay, and then come back on the details. All right? Oh, I skipped over a passport, by the way. This is really important. Whenever you're putting passengers' names in, particularly true of airline tickets, but just about everything, the name has to be exactly as it is on the passport or the travel document that they will use, and be clear on that. If it's maybe it's domestic here within the UK, they don't necessarily need a passport. Maybe a driver's license or something is all right. So you have to know which document they're using, because people have variations in their names, the names they use, right? So, but if it's a passport, for example, and you're booking an airline ticket, it has to be exactly, the spelling exactly, the middle name or initial exactly as it is on the document, or you could get into some trouble. A change fee with the airlines to change a name, if they even allow you to do it, and it's time limited, is expensive, okay? Also, that passport has to be good for 6 months after the dates of travel, okay? People think, oh, I still got a month on my passport, and they go. But countries are concerned about letting you in when you have a passport that's due to expire. All right, closing the sale. You want to confirm all the details, of course. Restate everything in the pricing. You want to make sure they have cancellation policies in writing. This will have been given to you by the system or the supplier, and you want to make sure you forwarded it to your customers so that there's never any question later that you didn't tell them or didn't do something correctly. Any other legal notes or disclosure from the travel provider you're going to give them. We have a credit card authorization form that's been retooled so that it's legal here in the UK, and that's in your, it will be by July 1st in your travel agent back office, your virtual office. And what that means is you're going to be using their credit card to pay for stuff. You want to make sure you have a document that says they authorized you to do that. Because otherwise later they could come back and say, I didn't like my trip, who told you to book this or book that? And you could find yourself in that situation. So every transaction, you need to secure that form. Insurance waiver, again, when in the next couple of months we start teaching you more about insurance, this is just something that says, yes, you, my travel agent, you showed me travel insurance and I declined it. I decided not to take it. And again, that's to protect you later. Something goes wrong, they ask you why they don't have insurance protection on the trip, and you have a little form that says, I'm sorry, but I told you all about it and you chose not to take it. Right? So you don't just want that 3 sales or more. Right? Okay. What's really important is that your service doesn't end with the sale. Okay? You have to realize that your service continues through the sale, through the trip, and even after the trip. You want to keep them excited. There's something called buyer's remorse. They've made the decision. Maybe it's a large sum of money. For a lot of people, a travel purchase is. Now, they've done it. A month goes by. They start to feel a little remorseful. Maybe I shouldn't have spent the money. They just get a little concerned or weak. You want to keep their energy up, their excitement up. So you send them local restaurants. You send them articles about the destination. You send them more information from the cruise line, whatever, to keep them excited and help them get prepared for their trip. About 30 days prior to the trip, you can actually help smooth some of the processes in travel. That's the worst part of travel, is the processes and the details you have to do when you're traveling or getting ready to travel. Nowadays, you can check them in online for the cruise, even for some hotels now. You can pre-check in online, so you show up, they have your key with your name ready, you pick it up and go to the room. Same with the cruise, you just walk onto the ship. and it's much better than standing in line, right? Flight check-in and seat adjustments. I see this all the time. Everyone knows you can check into most flights online. Some of the low-cost carriers don't let you do it, but check in online, you've got your boarding pass. It just makes everything easier at the airport. What I see, though, is people get on the plane and I see these like families come on the plane and they kind of wander through the plane, and one's got a seat here and two of them are sitting over here and one's back there, and I think, who did that to you? You know? And we can help with it. People don't necessarily realize they can go online after the ticket is purchased and move their seats around, right? And usually there's an opportunity to do that a couple of times before the flight. Help them out with that. You know, make sure they get taken care of right. Dining and entertainment on cruises, you can do advanced reservations, and this is really important too. You don't want the experience to be the day they get on the cruise ship, they start looking at specialty restaurants and shows, and they can't get what they want, right? Now you just dampened that experience for them on the cruise. Instead, set them up a month beforehand. They can always change it, okay? But now they've got dinner reservations when they want them, in the restaurants they want them, shows at the right time, and they don't have to experience that frustration just as they're boarding the ship. Instead, they want to do what Andy does, which is get in their bathing trunks and sit by the bar, right, in the pool. So help them with that. Luggage tags, same thing. Now, during the trip, there's stuff you can do during the trip. The best thing you can do is send a text message that says, "Hi, just checking in on you. Want to make sure everything is the way you wanted it." Okay? Do you know how powerful that is? People, when I've done it, you get love in return. They never ask me for anything, really. They just say, "Oh, thank you so much. How sweet." The reason you should do it is that no website is going to do that. Right? And that's people say to me, "Mr. Farrar, why would anyone buy through me and not through, instead of going on a website or all the other ways they can buy?" And that's the reason. Because it's you. You are your own brand. You can send a handwritten thank you note. No website's going to do that. You can send a text message during the trip. No website's going to do that. That's the difference. They're going to get care with you that they are not going to get through all these other, and surveys tell us they're not happy with any of these other ways to book. Okay, we know it. So there is a market opportunity for you right there. Okay. The other thing you could do, and I say this if it makes sense, okay, use your business head and evaluate this. But you can send flowers or a gift. You can make that arrangement with any hotel, any cruise line. There could be something waiting in the room or the cabin for them. But if it's a Carnival cruise and your commission is 65 pounds, don't spend 45 pounds on flowers. Okay? But what's more likely is you've got 300 or 400 pounds commission. And then can you spend $35 on flowers or 35 pounds on flowers? Of course. So you've got to use good business sense, but this is a really lovely touch, and this always gets a laugh. But I usually send flowers to myself when I stay in the hotel. I don't like walking into like a sterile room, and it's actually a really nice feeling to have a bouquet of flowers. And then I read the cards, right, James? After the trip, just quickly, how was your trip call? A handwritten thank you note. I already explained to you why. Ask for referrals. This is the time to grow your business. Ask for a referral when people are just back from their trip and they had a great time and they're in a great mood, and that's the time for them to tell other people how terrific you are, right? So also ask them for their next trip, not the day they come back, but within about 30 days, right? People are planning ahead. Make sure they buy with you. So about 30 days after they come back, you can help them book their next trip. And of course, keep a history file on them. Birthdays, anniversaries, anything you learn about them, keep that information, and it'll just make you better and better with them. Okay? Now, Your reaction when you get that call is you're full of travel ideas for them, you make happy travelers out of them, and you earn your commissions. All right, much better way to react to that call. Thank you, everybody.